the sun, the fields are alive. Cheering crowds and the teams collide. In these moments, we stand tall and free. First pride runs deep in me. With every touchdown, we rise and we cheer. Unity and spirit, the heart of the year. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zone to go, football and cheers make our spirits roll. Girls in the game, they're fierce and bright. Flag in hand, they give it their might. From every town they bring their dreams. On this field of gold, nothing's as it seems. Together we shine, together we play. In Florida's heart, we own this day. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zones go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. So here's to the game, we'll rise and stand. Enthralled and feel, real night band.
All right. I see the chat is already firing off and we can't even get on the screen yet. I mean, people are just talking about pizza in the chat as we come to you with welcome to the pizza edition of the Blitz instead of the Space and Treasure Coast edition of the Blitz. Apparently, Chris is just going to eat pizza right in front of me. Josh Wilson here. Christopher Like there eating the pizza. Yes, he is teasing me with pizza, and yes, I'm a bit jealous. Welcome to the second quarter of the Blitz, brought to you by Noli. Yes, indeed. By the way, we are going to be opening up some advertising slots for local businesses on all of our Blitz shows. We're going to be offering that up. I believe what we're going to do is it's going to be a small low rate of probably about $100 a month for businesses to come in and be local sponsors basically for their edition of the Blitz. So we're looking at opening up that obviously, and then we're going to still keep our, obviously our bigger sponsors, keep them rotated in throughout our shows each of the 2 nights. But we definitely are going to open it up for some local sponsors to be able to come in and support what we're doing here, because the Blitz is not just football, it's flag football. It's a year-round thing. We're going to do this year-round. And obviously during the holiday break, we'll probably take a couple weeks off, or probably put some best on with some of our best interviews, throw some of our best interviews for each show, kind of do a little during the holidays, hey, we'll go back to our best interviews from during the season, but Chris, this edition of the Blitz is brought to you by pizza. Oh man. But you know what? It's time for the Blitz Lines as we roll along in here. And boy, our interview coming up tonight is with Eau Gallie head coach Chris Sands. That was actually recorded earlier today, so you'll hear that interview in length with me and Coach Sands coming up here after we do the Blitz Lines. And then I know. Oh, this chat. This is what makes this shows fun. I mean, obviously, Emery. I wish Domino's was a sponsor of this show, because that would be great, because that would just pay everything and then some probably. But as Emery says, the show's the folks who brought Mark pizza. I just can't right now, y'all make this chat so much fun. And Marquez says Travis Powell parking lot is more than just a pizza. And this couch is delivered to you by Lowe's.
Oh, no comment.
Actually, sorry, Lowe's doesn't sell couches. No, this couch is delivered to you by Badcock, who does no longer exist. So there you go. Man. All right. All jokes aside here, we got to go back to looking at some of our things. But Centennial, how about this? Centennial, last week, Chris, just literally kind of curb stomped Bayside. It was definitely not as close of a game as I would have thought when it comes to looking at these teams here. And boy, it was really one of those games where you're just like, what you thought might be kind of. Actually, Mark Cannon Babcock was not bad furniture back in the day. I will say that. So because we had a good couch years ago, but that was when I was a kid. So I mean, I'm old now. So anyways, but looking at this particular game here, between was trying to go back here real quick here. Actually, okay, hold on. Let me go. There we go. That's part of my problem right here is I'm trying to pull the score up on this one here and go back here real quick. 61-14 Centennial over Bayside. Who would have thought Centennial was going to put 61 points up? I did not. If you did, please go to the pay window and collect on your earnings there, because I sure did not have that on my bingo card.
Yeah, I didn't either. And what happened to Bayside? That's the bigger question.
I thought there was a lot of confidence about Bayside going into the season, but it has not gone their way. And Bayside now 2-4 on the season. Centennial obviously picks up a big win right there, but man, man, that it just. Noli says, "How dare you talk about Mulberry's pride and joy, Mark?" Yes, indeed. That you're right about that, because Mulberry's pride was Polk County's pride was Babcock Furniture, by the way. So there's that. And I see someone has snuck into the office here. That's on the other side of the camera, and she is waving. That is the fiance. She is waving. She is saying hello to everybody that is out there that knows of her. Yes, and we're just having fun here as we roll along here on our Space and Treasure Coast Blitz edition. But Chris, Woodford County, Kentucky, to Heritage. Woodford County takes care of Palm Bay Heritage 35-17, and Palm Bay Heritage is now 1-4 on the season. And they got a big game with South Fork this week, and it's district play. And the computer is not loving Heritage right now.
No, they're not, and Heritage is really struggling. It's really a far cry from last year. Woodford County, they really took it to the woodshed with Palm Bay Heritage.
And it just brings up a lot more questions about Palm Bay Heritage, because obviously, you don't take care of business against Cocoa. You don't take care of business against Sanford Seminole. I mean, you're literally are trying to now navigate. And what's even more concerning is that you've got Martin County, who's 4-1 on the season, by the way, in your district. And yes, Mark Cannon Heritage has disappointed over the last 2 weeks. This is why we're talking about it here, because I just Palm Bay Heritage, I had a lot of high hopes on them this year. Obviously, they were going to continue for that.
They were expected to be in the district race this year.
Oh, absolutely. And
we don't see it this year.
I don't see it this year. Martin County looks much improved. It's just there's a lot to be said here, and really, man. There's a lot to digest here. Bishop Moore, Melbourne Central Catholic. That at one point those two teams were competitive at the start, but the Hornets pull away on the Hustlers, 41-13. Hands Melbourne Central Catholic their third loss on the season here. By the way, Melbourne Central Catholic, they would have 5 games already on the books here, but Trinity Catholic game got wiped out earlier this year, so that didn't go on the docket here. But Melbourne Central Catholic, boy, you know, got to think about it. Melbourne Central Catholic, they're one of two teams in that District 1A6 that's going to contend for that district title. Yeah, two-team district. You know, Chris went through this 1A when we put up the playoff roadmaps, which it'll be tomorrow morning. I promise, guys. There's been a lot going on, but we've got it. Chris has got it ready. Chris has done a great job on it. I've actually kind of glanced at some of them, and honestly, when it comes to these two-team districts, Chris, I mean, yeah. This
these two-team districts, I got on my soapbox on a couple of times in this article, you know, because they suck. They take the fun out of the high school football.
they suck the joy out of everything. I really, honestly, to be honest with you, Chris, it just there's something has to give, and this is why the FHA is talking about shrinking the number of classifications. It just I don't even get me started, Emery. Two-team districts. I think it's at least 10. I think there's at least 10 of them. And honestly, it's really ridiculous. And honestly, you know, the shrinkage of classification should have happened 2 years ago. The shrinkage of classification should have happened like 10 years ago. Honestly, it should have happened a long time ago. I mean, now that we're finally being honest with ourselves. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Emery, when you see the article, you'll notice how many two-team districts there are. It's very plain and clear.
I mean, how do you describe a two-team district? Oh, well, hey, guess what? They're meeting here on this so-and-so date, unless you're Cardinal Newman and Benjamin, by the way, you know, and that's for South Florida. That district's already decided.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere I put a joke in one of the districts asking the question, but whatever.
I mean, but you know, and this is our soapbox here, obviously, you know, that we're going to have here as we roll along here, but Dr. Joaquin Garcia at Martin County wins that one, and it was a little bit of a battle there for the Tigers, but 21-10 Martin County rolls to their fourth win of the season, 4-1 as they roll into obviously they're going to have their second district game this week. Obviously they played their first district game a couple of weeks ago in week 4, got that game. St. Cloud give Merritt Island everything they could. How about this? 24-21 victory for Merritt Island. And boy, I mean, the computer was kind of close on St. Cloud. So I got to give the computer credit there that, you know, thought St. Cloud was going to win. Obviously, it was a loss, but in terms of the points, it was kind of flipped a little. It was really close, actually, about what the margin of victory was going to be for that game. I believe it was like 4 or 5. And here we go. We have a 3-point game here. So, that obviously goes in Merritt Island's favor, but really, I think some people, we'll talk about it more Central Florida Blitz edition tomorrow night about St. Cloud, but Merritt Island, rolling pretty well, 3-2 now on the season. Obviously, their first 5 games, obviously, tough stretch. They got another hard game this week. They're going up to Ed White and Jacksonville, and that'll be interesting. Emery, we'll publish those articles, the playoff roadmaps. I've got them sitting. They're in the docket to be published. They will go up tomorrow. I promise you. Not only that, we have the playoff roadmap. We have also inside the numbers. So we've got a lot of premium content coming at you tomorrow before our shows come out. And then we'll also have the updated Florida Power Rankings Index update. So going into
you guys can ask all the questions you want during the show tomorrow. So.
Or you know what, here's another thing. You know what, if you got, we may be able to, Chris, we may be able to take a little dive into some of these just kind of give a little bit of just a few goodies out, a few nuggets on the drive the state. And then let people see the whole article, obviously, tomorrow here. So, and so it really comes down to it really borderlines a lot of different things here. And when we talk about what we're going to be looking at here in terms of what these playoffs are going to look like. But Merritt Island, St. Cloud, that was really good. How about this? Eau Gallie finally does it. They finally do it. And they bring home the win, and they snap Coco's in-county streak in Brevard County. How about that? And Coach Seabass says, anchor down. He's referring to Eau Gallie right there.
Just when we thought that Coco was going to be Coco, the flip switch to do again, and we're still trying to figure Coco out.
Yeah, and Chris, this deserves this on us for that. Yeah, Eau Gallie hurt my pick'ems too because I took Coco, Chris took Coco, and Reno took Coco. So right now it's that hot cocoa. The cocoa is kind of lukewarm over there in Coco right now.
Yeah. And Eau Gallie is going cuckoo for Cocoa Puff.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I can't with Chris right now. But anyways, Coco seems. Yeah, Emery, you're right. Coco seems to be somewhat down this year. Obviously, the Eau Gallie on the way. Mark Kennedy says marshmallows are. How about the night? Marshmallows aren't melting. That was good. That was good. I give it to y'all. I know that we're not trying to on this, I guess, come at teams, but really, let's just be honest. I don't know what Coco is this year. I feel like the Coco is just lukewarm right now, and I don't drink lukewarm Coco. I also don't buy green bananas apparently either.
You know what, Josh? In the article, I'm going to say this.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say this. Coco is not on the highway. I don't see.
And that says a lot right there when you say Coco's not on the highway, because I mean, again, some people are like, okay, well, there's no possible way the Villages could beat Coco. You know what? We also said that about Eau Gallie. We also said that about Vero Beach. We also said, we said that about a lot of teams. Merritt Island was a mere points away of beating Coco. Right now, you got to be honest. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Coco's 2-3. There's a good possibility that Coco right now would be 1-4.
And they are sitting at a real possibility of not making the playoffs this year. I mean,
let's be honest here. The only good win, really, in my opinion, they've got right now is that win over Heritage. But that says also probably more about what Heritage is going through. That Heritage is down.
Yeah, and Heritage is not looking good right now either. So I mean,
no. And I'm just going to tell you, I mean, right now, as it stands, as we talk about it here in terms of, the FHA playoff rankings, okay, you look at it and you be like, all right, sure, Coco, okay, yeah. But you know what? Chris is right. There's a lot to be desired there, and again, we'll talk about that at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central on our Drive the State show here on FortHSFootball.com. We're going to take our first break, and then we'll have an interview with head coach Chris Ans from Eau Gallie coming up here. You're watching the Space and Treasure Coast edition of the Blitz here on FortHSFootball.com, brought to you by Pizza. All right.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
Touchdown!
juggled and caught.
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought, if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it, because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, there's a great chance that I can do it. First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
All right, welcome back here to the Space and Treasure Coast edition of the Blitz here. I'm Josh Wilson here, doing this interview as we pre-record this interview with head coach Chris Sands of the Eau Gallie Commodores, coming off a huge win Friday night in week number 5 against Cocoa, and the Commodores are 3-2 on the season and getting ready for district play here this weekend. Coach, appreciate you taking some time to talk with us here with everything and about the Commodores, and just talk about first just coming off this big win against Cocoa. Y'all snapped a long win streak that they had against Brevard County team. So first, for your program, how does it feel to be able to come off a big win against a formidable opponent that's won 3 straight state championships?
Yeah, obviously it's good to win any game against a really good football program like Cocoa. But we've been here 8 years as a staff. This was only our 3rd time playing them. So again, we felt like we've been trying to play them every year, and obviously this was an opportunity that we took, and our guys played really hard and we came out with a victory. But those players over there do a great job, and they work really hard for the coaching staff at Cocoa. So good luck to them the rest of the season. Obviously we move on, but we're really excited for our future, and obviously that win for us was a big part of our program.
I mean, and not just that win, but the first 5 weeks of the season, obviously it's not been easy pickings. I mean, you start off with Vero Beach, tight gut ball game there. That's one of the 2 losses y'all have in the season. But before Cocoa, it was First Academy, and then y'all had the wins against Rockledge and Heritage. I mean, after coming off that that historic state semifinal run last year, obviously keeping the schedule tough, as the way it is. Obviously, that's by design, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We wanted to play the best this year. So when we faced those Miami teams, late in our playoff run, we wanted to be prepared. Obviously we didn't anticipate, losing our starting quarterback, the 3rd play of an offensive series against Vero Beach. So obviously that threw a wrench in things. But at the end of the day, us as a staff, we feel like we do a great job kind of adapting to our guys. And that's what we've done since. Obviously, it took a little time to, kind of build our offense around a different player. But at the end of the day, obviously, we're trying to find the best situation for our guys, and we feel like we've done that. And obviously, again, this past week in Cocoa, we kind of showed that. The game against the First Academy, I mean, we probably should have won that game. The game plan was run to a T. I felt like we gave ourselves a chance, and they just made a big play. One more big play than us. So obviously, we came out with a loss, and I say it all the time, like there's no, good losses. A loss is a loss, and obviously they deserve to win. But at the end of the day, the good part of it is it was only week 4, and we got a lot of football after that. So obviously, this past week at Cocoa, we came away with a victory, and we're looking to do the same this coming week against Titusville in a district game.
Apologies if I'm going to end up butchering Xavier's last name, Xavier Lloris, I think, as I'm saying it correctly.
Right.
Okay, he's been the talk of the town for y'all, obviously. Not just for your program, but around the state. Obviously, he's been a big workhorse for y'all. I mean, talk about just what just his contributions to the team, because it's just it seems like every week we hear about him. What big play he's done that week.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy part is he's been doing it for 3 years. I mean, we're talking about a kid his sophomore year that tore up the stat columns. I mean, he ended up, if you count the kickoff classic in the spring game, he had 17 interceptions in 1 year, which is unheard of. Obviously, he had 3 against Cocoa. He's had 2 other games where he had 3 interceptions in 1 game. I think people are talking about him now because we beat Cocoa. But he has been doing it from day one that he stepped foot on the field for us. He's not only a great player, he's a great teammate. He's a great leader. He's a great person, man. That kid is a different breed. He's my son's best friend. He's every teacher's favorite kid on campus. He just does everything the right way. So, like I told him on Saturday morning, he deserves everything that he's getting. Obviously he's coming to Oregon, has 60 offers and all that good stuff, about him.
Yeah, I was about to say that with Oregon.
Yeah, he's starting to get recognized, from his peers as being the top of the top. And again, he, obviously he's not very tall, and that's kind of what held him back from being the 5-star, the top 10 recruit in the country. But again, he makes up for that with his heart and the way he prepares and his work ethic, man. He's a different kid, and, we're proud to have him as a Eau Gallie Commodore.
No, absolutely. And I mean, I know that, you're using him in some situational purposes at quarterback. Obviously, he's just an all around athlete. But, one thing I noticed, another thing, and I don't think a lot of people talk about it, is that, he's one of these ones that's a multi-sport athlete, not just focused on football, but he plays multiple sports. And I know that has kind of gotten lost in these days. So how critical do you tell your guys, hey, play more than one sport, because that's going to get you further along with the college recruiters? Yeah.
I mean, we make them, if they're not, participating in a winter sport, we make them wrestle, just go through the workouts, work out with the team. And obviously in spring, if they're not doing anything, they're going to do track. So we really push it. Again, like you said, it helps in the recruitment. We feel like we do a great job, getting our kids off to school here. So, that's part of it, and making them do a second sport. And obviously if it was up to Xavier, he would do 5 sports. I mean, wow. Football. His freshman year, he did football, baseball, and basketball, and then his dad's our track coach, so he tried to do track, but again, it was so much. I mean, the kid could play tennis, the kid could, run cross country. He literally could do it all. But we've kind of limited him now because he doesn't have any downtime, and we want to make sure that we kind of heal his body at times. This year is going to be a little different because he is going to enroll early, so he's not going to play baseball this year. But again, most colleges were recruiting him to play both. And then this year kind of decided that, hey, we're going to just strictly focus on football. But he will, participate in anything he can. Again, he's just a different kid, man. He works hard, and, he loves to compete. And whether it's, playing a board game or playing the game of football, man, he's going to give it his all. But yeah, to answer your question, we try to push our guys to multiple sports for sure.
No, absolutely. And with that said, looking at the stats here, obviously the passing stats aren't what, obviously, y'all are going to be more balanced. Obviously that kind of changed in that week 1 game. But I mean, y'all almost 1,200 yards rushing. But, you got another Xavier Corbin, who's also adding to the numbers too. So, I mean, talk about that, and in terms of being able to be able to change that offense on a minute's notice, basically, especially what you had to do in week 1.
Yeah, again, I give a lot of credit to our offense coordinator, Trent Guy. Again, we do things around our guys, whether it's, throwing the ball, running the ball, play good defense, whatever it's going to take, we're going to do the best we can to win. And again, obviously, with losing Joseph, it changed things for us offensively. And our goal on offense is just get our playmakers the ball. Whether it's handing the ball off to him, get it to him quick, throwing the ball down the field, whatever it is, whatever is going to give us the best situation to win, that's what we're going to do. So again, we felt like, we have some really, really big playmakers on offense, and, obviously Xavier Larice, Xavier Corbin, TJ Monroe, Lucas Facelli, Donovan Richardson. We have guys all over the field. It was just a simple fact of how do we get these guys the ball. And we felt like, Xavier catching the ball every single play give us the best chance to spread that ball around. And obviously it showed. And now we're just building on that and getting better each week. And we're just taking what guys give us. If they want to let us, run the ball, we're going to run it. We had a great game plan going into Cocoa to throw it a little bit, but we didn't have to. If we didn't have penalties in that game, that could have get really ugly rushing the ball. I mean, we rushed for 377 yards with, I think we had 10 offensive penalties. So again, if you take those out, it could have been a long, long night. So, we're really proud of our guys, and, we're going to get better each week. And again, we're just going to kind of showcase our guys and get those guys the ball and let them make plays.
No, absolutely. And it wouldn't be behoove me if I didn't mention the defense. Already 8 interceptions this year. Of course, Xavier Larice already three of those interceptions right there, but 6 sacks. And I mean, y'all are a tackle machine, obviously. So I mean, when we were saying that the team is already almost racked up over 300 total tackles, that tells you everything you need to know about your defense in 5 weeks of play.
Yeah, I mean, our defensive coordinators, I mean, they're as good as I've ever seen at the football level in general. Marquise Ramos and Kier Hall do a great job coaching our guys up. The crazy part about Xavier having 3 interceptions, he hasn't played much defense at all because, again, we're trying to limit his body a little bit because he's doing so much for us. But yeah, we lost 10 of 11 starters last year on defense, so we had to rebuild that. But again, our staff is elite, and we feel like those guys can coach up anyone. So we put some guys in place. I mean, we have 3 freshmen starting for us right now, and they're arguably our 3 best players. And Xavier Corbin and Captain Roll and Jazier Payne. So again, we're it doesn't matter how old they are. Our coaching staff does a great job coaching them up, and defensively, I think we're pretty good right now.
And obviously, it would behoove me to mention that now we're going, I could say, hey, y'all are kind of going into the meat of the schedule, but you were in the meat of the schedule since week 1, basically, to start with. But actually, what's interesting, district play starts this week for y'all, and looking at it, this is the last home game for y'all for the regular season. So, I mean, the next 4 games after this are on the road. So, I mean, kind of to talk about that, the fact that, this is the last home game. It's against Titusville. It starts district play, but then next 4 games, it's on the road.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy when you win, 12 football games. I know no one's going to want to play you again. And that's kind of what happened to us. We couldn't find games to schedule. I mean, we had teams drop us that we played the last 60 years. We've had teams, say they're going to play us, and then we put the schedule out, and then they put theirs out, and we're not on the schedule. So again, we had a rough time just finding games in general. So at some point, we were just like, look, we don't really care who we play. We can play the Dallas Cowboys. We can play Florida State. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the ball has to get kicked off, and the playoffs are the playoffs, and we feel like we want to do what's best for us to be prepared for the playoff situation. So yeah, our senior night's in September, which is this coming Friday, and against a really good Titusville team. But again, I think it's really going to prepare us for the playoffs, and our guys have faced adversity, all year. Like I said, starting with Joseph going down, tearing his ACL. So again, I think our guys are going to be battle tested when that playoff time starts, and we'll be ready to showcase our talent.
No, absolutely, of course. So, not only they have Titusville this week at home to wrap up the home schedule this week. Next week will be about the regular season. So there's a possibility if everything holds, y'all are not just looking at the bye week, obviously week 11, but week 12, you may not need that week 12, depending on, if everything goes well. We don't have a knock on wood, any major things sitting out there in the Atlantic. Y'all could be basically, get 2 weeks off to get prepared for the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, we really didn't want that at all. But our Week 11 opponent that we played the last 60 years decided they didn't want to play us anymore. So, again, we just kind of took it with a grain of salt, and we can only control our controllables. So again, we it's not ideal for 16, 17, 18-year-old kids to be off for 2 weeks without a game. But at the end of the day, that's why they call us coaches, and we got to make that right and have our guys prepared, hopefully for round 1 if we are guaranteed that spot. So again, we're just going to take one week at a time. Obviously it starts, Friday against Titusville. So again, we're excited for our guys.
No, absolutely. And Coach, appreciate everything you're doing, and appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to, I know you got young kids. That's why we're doing this now, to get it ready for our show. But definitely hats off to you and your team for the rest of the schedule here, the rest of the season. Obviously, the next 5 games up ahead. It seems that the season goes quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we were talking about it last week where we blink and we're halfway through the season. But that's when you're doing it right. You're working hard, and you're going putting your head down and grinding. So, we feel like that Us as coaches, obviously, we don't do this for the money or do it for the fame or anything. We just want to put our players in the right situation to succeed and, hopefully go play college football somewhere. So again, we're excited for the next couple of weeks, and, hopefully we can make a little run.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you so much for joining us here on our Space Treasure Coast edition of the Blitz here, and we're looking forward to seeing what the Commodores do here for the rest of the season. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, man.
All right. That was head coach Chris Sands from Eau Gallie joining us here on the Space Treasure Coast edition of the Blitz. We'll be right back as we get ready to go into our fan comments and questions and our pick six for week number 6. We'll be right back here on the Space and Treasure Coast edition of the Blitz here on FortHSFootball.com and the FortHSFootball.com social media networks.
High school sports fans, follow your team live with a free ScoreStream mobile app. Download ScoreStream to get real-time scores, photos, and awesome video. Plus, follow your favorite teams and friends. Get real-time high school sports from ScoreStream.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
Juggled and caught.
All right, welcome back here to the Space and Treasure Coast edition of the Blitz here. Josh Wilson, Christopher Like here. Appreciate y'all joining us here. And we saw the comments firing off as we were doing the pre-recorded interview. And appreciate everybody watching that with head coach Chris Sands from Eau Gallie. And Eau Gallie, again, off to they're 3-2, and they got a big district game this week coming up against Titusville. And that'll be part of our pick six coming up here, Chris.
Oh, yeah. And, just looking at Eau Gallie, the one thing I'm concerned about with Eau Gallie is the way that the schedule is structured. As Coach mentioned it, as you mentioned it, they got all these road games, and then they got the double bye week coming up after that. So I'm really concerned about what the Commodores prospects are in the playoff when it comes to that.
Oh, absolutely. And that'll be some concern there. Emery's asking me, how many sponsors do I have? Well, we have a couple of the bigger sponsors, but obviously the payments are controlled by contract. So it's some of that stuff will not come until that we will get in some of our stuff that won't come until after the first of the year. So what we're going to need to do is really rely on some local regional type sponsors, and again to probably do this and to be able to cover our expenses and to be able to and unfortunately, let me shamefully put it this way, pay ourselves as well because of the time that we're going to be we would put into this. Our budget is gonna it's gonna be up there a little bit this year. Obviously, some things there's been some cost increases as well. So and it's not cheap staying in Miami for hotels. I will tell you all that right now. It is not cheap staying in Miami, and possibly rental car as well. So because so a few different things sitting there, but we'll approach that bridge as we get closer. But there's something to start thinking about here as we get ready here as we get because we're already halfway through the season. There's only 6 more this week, including 5 more weeks after the regular season, week 12, depending on what happens, if we're going to need that or not. But the more and more I feel like we that week 12 may go unused this year.
Yeah, we don't know how the schedule is going to shape up. if that week 12 goes bye, then we may have a different schedule on hand for the playoffs.
Well, the playoffs are already set. That schedule's already set. We may just did everybody enough of a bye week for that week, and depending on what happens, we'll have to see with everything. But yeah, Coach did say the QB probably. I think he did say the QB was kind of out for the year. I mean, because that's the way I kind of took it is that he's out for the year unless maybe get him back for the playoffs. But Mark Cannon says we need to get Nollies to stop sitting on his wallet. It is time. You could stay in my 1-star condo. Come on, in Boca with that I-95 traffic. Excuse me. Hell no. Just kidding.
We had plenty of traffic down in Miami last December.
By the way, we are running behind, so we have to make this quick here on our picks here, unfortunately, because we ran overtime here on our show here with everything. So let me see if I can get our pick 6 screen up. All right. First game up is Heritage Palm Bay at South Fork. Satellite. Wait a second. What? Oh, there we go. There's the right graphic. Heritage Palm Bay at South Fork. Heritage 1-4. South Fork 3-2. South Fork an 18-point favorite over Heritage. As we talked about it earlier, Heritage is not looking too well, and this is a district game here. So, what do we do here, Chris? What do we do here with this one?
Yeah, give me South Fork. It's not gonna be close.
I am rolling with South Fork here. I'm really concerned about some things here with everything, and again about Heritage. So with that said, our buddy Reno is going with South Fork as well here, and as we roll along here, and Palm Bay had Satellite, as you see here coming up here on the screen here. Satellite a 17-point favorite over Palm Bay. Win probability 94% for the Scorpions, but never say never with Kevin Mays as a head coach. Obviously, first year at Palm Bay, but Satellite looking really good right now. They're Dan Burke, but again, it's a schedule. So where do we go here, Chris?
I like Satellite to go 7-0.
Yeah, Satellite. By the way, it's actually Satellite's 5-0, not 6-0. I'm mistaken that one, so they're actually 5-0. So we're actually going to say they're going to go to 6-0. So I should have fixed that earlier. That was my mistake because there was an additional game. Actually, their week 0 game kept getting thrown in for some reason because I don't know, but that week 0 game did not count on their schedule. But anyways, we still expect. All of us are taking Satellite to stay undefeated here this coming week. All right. Up next is Titusville, 2-3 against Eau Gallie, 3-2. Eau Gallie a 27-point favorite over Titusville. Win probability, 98% chance for the Commodores to win this game.
I like Titusville, but give me Eau Gallie by a long margin of points.
Yeah, I'm going rolling with Eau Gallie as well, and Reno's rolling with Eau Gallie as well here. Our next game is Merritt Island at Ed White up in Jacksonville. That'll be a 6:30 kickoff. And by the way, it's pick 6, not on the week 5. Not week 5, it's week 6. Somehow that one did not get changed when I was going through the graphics. Merritt Island at Ed White. Boy, Ed White a 2-point favorite, but I feel like Merritt Island's played the tougher schedule versus compared to Ed White. And this one's going to be a tough one. But I like what the Mustangs have been doing here lately.
Oh, I do too. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle it handle a road trip like that. But give me Merritt Island barely, but it's not. It's going to be very close.
Give me Merritt Island barely as well. I'm with you that on Chris, but our buddy Reno, he's going Ed White. So, boy, oh boy. All right, our 6th game is Osceola Kissimmee 3-2 at Melbourne 4-1, and the Cowboys against the Bulldogs, and you can throw the records out the door. Osceola has played the tougher schedule. The computer agrees. Osceola 21-point favorite. Osceola 96% chance at winning this game.
Yeah, give me Osceola, and it's not going to be close.
Yeah, and Reno's going Osceola. I'm going Osceola. I think this is going to be a blowout. It'll be over by the second quarter is done. So there you go. That is my thought on that one. All right, and our final game is Vero Beach and Fort Pierce Central. And Peter's calling Vero Beach a 40-point favorite of Fort Pierce Central. I think it's going to be a little closer. I feel like Fort Pierce Central is a little bit more improved, but Vero Beach 100% win probability on this game.
And I agree with the computer. Vero Beach is going to roll in this game. That one's going to be a blowout. So, yeah, give me Vero Beach.
Yeah, and I'm going Vero Beach, and Reno is going Vero Beach. So that is our picks there for our pick 6 here for week number 6 here in terms of the teams here. All right, we got to wrap it up. We're already a couple minutes behind. Well, actually, we're supposed to be starting our South Florida show now, so apologies, everybody, but we'll be getting this rolling here. But any quick final thoughts here, Chris, as we finish this up?
Nope. Let's get going and get going to South Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everybody. Appreciate you watching us here on the South, the Space and Treasure Coast Blitz here. We appreciate everybody. We'll be back here for the South Florida Blitz here in just a couple minutes here on FloorHSFootball.com. Appreciate everybody watching here.